Well, good evening and welcome to Astrology Breakdown right here on My Psychic Connection. You've got me, Journey Ryan, and none other than Squirrel.
I wasn't expecting to be on the screen. I had my active bitch face going. I thought you were gonna pull me. I was like,
I just left you on the screen with me. All right.
I was like,
Well, is that energy though. Your your active bitch face is a lot like the energy that's out there right now. All
oh,
that
sugar, sugar.
very high intense vibration that Aries brought with that full moon. People are biting at the bit. They're chewing their own nails off. They're chewing off their own faces. There's so many energies that are going on right now, and everybody's vibrating way up here, and they're on edge. They're on their nerves. They're like, I don't know what to. No one's having the chance to catch their steps. They're not catching balance. They're not doing a lot of things that we were trying to warn them. That's why I was on Tuesday, or yeah, technically Tuesday morning for us. It was on my show. I was letting everybody know to listen to a sad song because it's going to bring you from the vibration where you're so damn high to giving you a balance where you kind of center. So you're not going to be in sad mode, but you're not going to be in aggravation mode. It can help center you to help you kind of find your balance and kind of humble you a little bit, make you feel, get those feelings back. Because when you're in those high vibrations, we're not feeling, we're reacting. There's no feeling
Yeah.
to it. It's just react, 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 react.
And then you had also said something that really struck a nerve. It's like you said
Mm-hmm.
you don't just want to go out and listen to the happy songs. You really need to bring it back a notch because even if you
Mm-hmm.
become happy right now, you be in that happy mad, like that manic. And I was like,
Exactly.
nerve struck.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I
And
mean,
there's some other stuff going on in the transits right now that there's one transit that's incredibly brutal right now.
and we're going to let you get to that too. And for those of you who are watching right now, have seen the astrology breakdown, Squirrel goes through each day of every week to allow you guys to see what is to come ahead. And it is absolutely amazing to watch and gives you a great play by play to what to expect as this week goes along. So it's definitely some interesting stuff. So, guys, make sure you're tuning in and checking that out. You're going to be able to see those coming back onto My Psychic Connection right on our YouTube channel. So if you guys are YouTube subscribers, make sure you guys are checking those out, along with our numerology, our angel numbers, card of the day, so many great programs. Spilling the Tea is back, guys. So guys, make sure you're checking those out. We have so much great YouTube content and more to come.
Oh yeah.
I've got two more shows coming that are just for our YouTube viewers. So, guys, make sure if you haven't checked out our YouTube channel, head over to our YouTube channel, My Psychic Connection, subscribe, ring the bell, make sure you guys don't miss any of the amazing content that comes out each and every day. So much great stuff. And we've got Hope in there saying hey to everybody. Hey, Hope, how's it going?
Oh,
Welcome to Astrology Breakdown. So, as Squirrel was mentioning, there's some things going on in the transits right now. So I'm going to head this over to Squirrel to give you guys a little bit of an idea of some of the things that are going on, and she can break it down for us.
all right. So actually today we're building up to a little bit of a brutal week. But even right now, there's some things going on. Now we have a stellium in Libra, and what the hell does that mean, Squirrel? Right? It means three or more planets are in a zodiac sign, and in this case, we've got the Sun, Mercury, and Mars. So that's our planet of ego, the Sun, or our planet of our conscious mind. And that's our Mercury is the way we communicate, the way we teach and learn, and the way we process our thoughts. And then Mars is not only our aggression and our ability to get angry, but it's also our ambition and it's the way we pursue what we are passionate about. So this is the last day that Mars will be in that. And usually a Libra stellium can be a great thing, especially with the Sun, Mercury, and Mars, because that means everything's lined up. Our conscious mind is lined up with how we're speaking to everybody, is lined up with how we go after what we want, whether that be, revenge or a new career. So that stellium could be a good thing under normal circumstances. We're not in normal circumstances right now. And Libra is also usually in a stellium very, very diplomatic, but you may be missing that right now, and I'll tell you why in just a second. But before I get to that, I will say that two of those planets in the stellium, or the sun isn't technically a planet, it's considered a light. But the sun and Mercury in what's called a conjunct, and that just means they're really close to each other and they're amplifying each other. So our conscious mind and our thought process are really in tandem. They're in lockstep. They're playing by the same rules. And where healthy Libra would be really diplomatic, really friendly, really supportive, unhealthy Libra can be really snarky, passive aggressive, kind of ugly because it has no filter, like none whatsoever. So, under normal circumstances, we're going to lean toward the good of Libra, but right now we have a brutal what's called an opposition, where two planets are in directly opposite of each other, and that is Venus in Virgo, opposition Saturn retrograde Pisces. Now, what does this mean, squirrel? It means that these two planets are like fighting each other, pulling against each other, pushing against each other, just having a time, and it's going to throw challenges at us that we need to meet. Venus in Virgo is already a bad placement. It's not a happy place. Venus needs to be free. It's love. It needs to show love and give love. Venus and Virgo can tend to be a little bit nitpicky or worrisome. Like, oh my God, did I pack the lunch right? And then usually that Venus and Virgo is turned inward. Like, I didn't do anything right. Nobody loves me. It can worry a lot. It does pay attention to detail. So it tries to do everything it can to make those that it loves really happy, but they beat themselves up a lot. You put that in opposition to Saturn retrograde Pisces, already got a problem because Saturn gets pulled back and kind of stopped. And Saturn is all about our responsibilities, our limitations, how we address what we're supposed to do and how to do it. And Saturn hates being in Pisces. It's like, I don't want to be here. We got rules to run, and this damn Pisces is running around with its head in the cloud and dreaming, why am I here stuck with this Pisces? So you got two planets that are in two signs that they really don't enjoy. One of those planets retrograde, and it's affecting us in a very vicious, inward turned, I don't like who I am. And it's making a lot of us sad. It's making a lot of us hateful towards ourselves and towards the people around us because we're so angry at ourselves. With that Libra stellium just vomiting out everything it thinks. So if you're going through a lot of self-flagellation type of thing and hating yourself and then blurting out things that you don't mean to other people, there is a reason. Now, don't use it as an excuse. This is knowledge. This is to let you know, slow down, Skippy. Think about what you say and think about what you say to yourself. This is only going to last until the 15th. And I think it hits like ground zero on the 13th. Like it just started yesterday. So by the 13th, it'll be really, really strong. And then it'll start to lessen, to weaken. By the 15th, it will just be an echo of that true sorrow and loneliness that you might be feeling now. Most likely, if you aren't feeling it yourself, you have some strong placements in your own chart that it misses. but you'll still feel it by the people around you. And it can still, that can still piss in your Wheaties if you're not feeling that aspect. The people around you who are can still put you in a really bad mood. So that's the breakdown. I hope it wasn't too much.
Not at all. Not at all. I mean, it explains quite a bit of the things that are going on right now. And, we were just talking about that Aries moon, and then you've got that Virgo energy. So already aggravated energy happening. And then you've got to add that where your love, your compassion is coming from is also you're over analyzing everything. So you're already aggravated. Now you're over analyzing everything from where I would say your heart energy is coming from.
Absolutely.
You're finding yourself in pieces.
Yeah, that's a really harsh aspect.
It
There's
is
no
a
way to put
definitely
uh,
but there's no fret because even though we're going through what we're going through currently, there's a reason for everything. And sometimes the universe forces us to feel or react or to do things that we wouldn't typically do, things that we would suppress, things that we would hold back, things that we just didn't want to deal with. But eventually, at some point, we have to deal with everything. Everything that has been put in our lives, we have to find a way to deal with it. We've got this eclipse coming, this circle of fire on the 14th.
yeah, the 14th, 1:55 p.m. Eastern. So,
So on the 14th, when you see this, now this is not the only, there's a lunar eclipse this month too on the 28th. It's
in
also a blood
Taurus,
moon, it's also a super moon, and it's a full moon, and it's a oh my God moon. So the moon is not done with us, guys. The moon is one of our planets out there, even though it's not technically a planet. It affects us very strongly and with the most force. Right behind that, you would find the sun and Jupiter.
yes.
Jupiter has a strong effect on us too. But those outer planets, as you say, are more, what are those? Hereditary and
Impersonal and global.
impersonal.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
So anything outside the asteroid belt, guys, is we go a little bit further. That's more things that you feel.
And that asteroid belt, now I don't
Mhm,
count the asteroid belt astrologically like in a chart because you wouldn't
mhm.
be able to read it if you put every asteroid or even one. To me, I don't use
Correct.
asteroids because but it is a protection, a buffer. It's a natural
Mhm,
protection against those two, Saturn and Jupiter, and
mhm.
their intensity. Because if we didn't have that buffer, they would really throw us for a
They
loop.
would definitely rip some havoc here. But thank God we've got Mars on our side on that one to help keep things stationary and a nice little belt to protect us. But definitely the energies. I know that a lot of people are when they a lot of love questions about people that they don't understand why they're acting the way they are. The one thing I would tell a lot of people to do is kind of pull back and let them react to the things that they're doing right now. Because if you are forcing yourself into their energy when they're reacting, the reaction you may get may not be the one that you want. And I'm going to say, take that may not be as to it isn't the energy you're looking for. So,
Yeah,
unless they are directly coming to you with that, I would pull back my energy and allow myself to let some healing begin.
that's like the biggest, like, as I said, the opposition, that's a challenge.
Mhm.
And the biggest challenge
Absolutely.
here today with the stellium and the conjunct,
Hmm.
that stellium and conjunct are giving us impulses to be social, to deepen our relationships, to make them better. And then we've got that opposition saying, don't do it. Don't try to have that conversation today. So the challenge here is sitting with yourself, being by yourself when you've got that ridiculous urge with that stellium to be social and part of something, but to sit with yourself and look inward, which is so hard, and see what is it that I do that I could do better in a relationship. And with Virgo in the mix, it's really challenging because when you're looking at yourself, I do everything wrong type of thing. But take the time to really look at it logically and say, okay, yeah, I do make mistakes and they're normal mistakes, but man, this part of me, like one of my Virgo, I have Venus in Virgo, so this is affecting me hard, this opposition. And my poor husband, if I don't hear from him to say goodnight, I've got him dead in a ditch somewhere and having an absolute panic attack. So I've got to look at myself and say, how can I do better with this? How can I let that poor man go to sleep one night and not act like he forgot to call me and want to rip his head off type of thing? You know what I'm saying? Real things that I do wrong that I could work on and do better and look at it realistically.
Oh, absolutely. I totally agree with you there. We have to look at things um, with reality involved. I know that
Mm.
Virgo can make us overthink, and that damn Venus is in Virgo right now, and it is not. And then we've got planets retrograde right now on top of that, so that's playing a big effect. And so you're getting the opposite energies of what you would typically get from these different planets, and then they're in their own signs as well. And now, which one of those planets? Which planets are in retrograde right now? I'm trying to
Right
remember.
now we have Jupiter retrograde Taurus, Saturn retrograde Pisces. We have Neptune retrograde Pisces. There's a lot of retrograde Pisces going on. And then we
I've got
have Uranus retrograde Taurus. So two in Taurus, two in Pisces. Pluto just recently went direct. And
that. Thank
and
God.
yeah, so we've only got four, but two of them in Taurus and two of them in Pisces. Like almost like Taurus, I think of the most common sense, and Pisces is the dreamiest.
Yeah.
So, ow.
You're like, ugh. But it wasn't that long ago. I would say what, 3 weeks ago, we had 7 planets retrograde all at once.
All at
And
once. Yep.
it was just, and we're still feeling effects of what that group of retrogrades did to us. And I mean, you can avoid things for only so long before they finally catch up to you, and you're like, you're not avoiding it. And the thing is that you don't want it to catch up to you when we're in energies like we are in right now, where everything's like, ah! And then you can't think with a logical mind because your Virgo heart at this time is not allowing you to do so. Because if you're not getting the answer to one thing, it's 5,000 other things. And unfortunately, it's never the positive. When we're worried or not understanding
Oh,
something, we
boy.
automatically jump to the worst case scenario versus being open and optimistic to the possibility that the reason this is happening is that it's a positive thing. And sometimes a negative does have to happen in order for us to receive that positive, because it's something we don't let go of.
Exactly. These challenges and these, especially these retrogrades, are opportunities. It doesn't feel like it
Mm-hmm.
sometimes, and I know I'm feeling it hard. These are
Yeah.
opportunities for us to slow the heck down and take a look at what's going on around us and to see how we can better ourselves and the situations we're in. But if we don't know about the opportunities and we're just feeling the effects, we're we're going to show our asses, you know?
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like,
I mean, full moon is shining, showing the masses. But we've got to, when things are tough, we need to take a moment to take a step back to go, wow, what was that? Why did I feel that? How did that happen? How did that come about? Why am I feeling this way? And not react before we think it things through. Now, again, Virgos will go in 500 directions. Libras will go to that, I can heal it all. And they're not the ones to be healing right now. They're
no,
not
no,
the
no,
ones to
right
be
now.
Not right now. This is not good for them because they feel as though they can heal every scenario and everybody is vibrating not as their typical self, but everything that's happened. We've got a world that's gone crazy right now.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
Libras are
yeah.
going to want to jump out there and heal everything, and then that breaks them down. And if they're broke down, you can't be happy because they're not happy. So then they'll come after you. And then it just continues to repeat the cycle. So, Libras, if you're out there and you're listening, heal you. Don't heal everybody else. Right now is the time for you to gather your strengths. When you can
Yeah.
heal yourself, a healthy Libra can actually heal. You hear the horror stories. They can. They have the capability, but they got to heal themselves first.
And that's
Got to
really
heal
hard
themselves.
for them. That is
Mm-hmm.
really hard because Libras gravitate toward other people. They want to be a part of something. They need to be a part of something. And the hardest lesson for a Libra, and I think we said this last week, is learning that you can only heal those people who want to be healed. And Kelly said, I'm feeling the effects of everything. And yes, that's me. Yeah.
The thing is
Dang.
that we're just in a time right now that we don't need to overextend ourselves. If we don't have the energy to give, it's not being selfish, and it's not that you don't care. It's that you're actually saving people from your own inner demons. Your inner demons are out there greeting people like, hey, how's it going? I'm going to make your life miserable. How's it going? Have a seat. I'll be right with you. And you're like,
Right.
I don't know what to do.
I am. So I have a Libra ascendant and I've
Mm-hmm.
got that Venus in Virgo, and that really, I can't. Both of them I would sell for a quarter. I'm not kidding. Um,
You might have to pay somebody else to take them.
I might have to, but it's really hard, that challenge, especially for Venus and Virgo or Virgo Sun or a strong Venus placement to deal with this energy because the challenge is to take it logically. And Kelly says, my chart probably looks like a record album. That's funny. I'm not promising anything. LOL, LOL.
Yeah, it's
But
not a good time to be able to promise anything to anyone,
no, not at all.
not
No.
even to yourself,
Yeah.
because you can drive
And
yourself crazy that way too.
and we're over here over analyzing the
Mm-hmm.
stuff, and it's driving us even crazier. Like, oh, did I just say I was crazy? I mean,
Even crazier than normal. You got your normal crazy, and then you got your crazy crazy. But
Oops.
we are definitely in a time where the vibrations are really high, and right now is the perfect time if you are someone who needs to find balance, who needs to find themselves in a place where you need to find that inner self or kind of be more humbled, or just listen to the saddest song right now, the saddest song, that the one that that brings a tear to your eye. That's going to bring you from that overwhelming vibration that's rattling your entire body to your core, brings you back to your center where you can crawl from your center and start to repair damages that have been done from this high vibration. I know it sounds crazy to listen to the sad song to actually provide balance, but we're at such a vibration right now that we, even with the solar storms, and that's the other thing we're not talking about too, that's coming through, is all that radiation from our sun hitting us too. So that's another thing that's bothering us and getting to us. But to listen to that song, to find your center, to kind of start thinking with that logic mind and your heart again, and kind of finding your balance, knowing that it's okay, that not everything's vibrating that high. You need to bring yourself down. You can bring yourself down. Other people hearing this message can bring themselves down. We'll start coming down as a collective versus everybody and being crazy. We need that. Also, put your hands in the dirt, put your feet in the grass, scrub with a salt scrub, salt water, put your hands in salt water, get yourself some warm salt or warm water, add some salt, put your hands in it, leave your hands in there for 5 minutes. One of the best tricks that I've learned trying to get rid of anxieties to help you sleep, and I know it sounds silly, take a glass of salt water, put it in a coffee cup, put it on the side of your bed. Remember not to drink it. Remember not to drink it. And I need you to let it sit there as you sleep. This is going to help calm the room and also neutralize any of the over anxiety energies. Like, let's say you're a person who has bad dreams quite often. This salt water is going to help eliminate the intensity of these dreams. Not saying it's going to take the dreams away, but it will help with the intensity, that vibration. It's going to calm it down. At the end of that, take that glass of salt water and dump it into the toilet. Do not dump it down the drain. Do not dump it down your tub. Don't throw it outside. Into the toilet and flush. Please flush. You're washing away that negativity and it is going to be recycled. So that way you don't carry those vibrations because there's a lot going on in the universe right now.
I really love what you said about the sad song for so many reasons. One of them
Mm-hmm.
being with that opposition, like genuinely making us feel sorrow and loneliness, being
Mm-hmm.
able to cry if we can hear that
Yes.
sad song, because so many of us put up that wall and don't allow ourselves to feel that emotion. It needs to be released, or that this opposition is going to end, and so many of us are still going to be, you know what I mean? So that
Well,
sad song, I think, is one of the most important things. Everything you said was definitely important.
mm-hmm.
So what's your sad song?
I have multiple songs. It just depends on the type of vibration I'm feeling or what my situations are because there are different songs that will bring different emotions to the table. And so I have a multitude of songs, and some people are like, oh, well, that song's not that sad. But it may not be sad to you, but I relate it to something that humbles me, something that brings me back to earth, reminds me that you are reacting rather than feeling and understanding. You're just reacting. You're not letting it in. You're just like, and you keep doing that. Your nerves, it's like your nervous system. You rattle your nervous system. You get, okay, you get touch a 220 plug, boom. Please don't do that, by the way.
Oh, please.
There's going to be an after effect. And that's what's happening. We're on a constant, everybody's out there licking this 220 voltage cord here, and we're constantly being shocked and shocked and shocked and shocked. And even if you, let's say you're watching our daily news, you're watching world news, you're watching your friends and their reactions and the way that they're going through things, we are on constant shock all the time. Now, just like any tool in the world, there's good qualities to a tool. There's also negative qualities to a tool. Right now, this is causing a lot. It's easier right now for this energy to be brought around because you can see it right here from your phone. But you also know to, I don't want to see that. I can't deal with that right now. I need to not look at that. So if you need to take a social break, allow yourself that social break. There's nothing wrong with it. Let's ground because we still have waves and waves of more energies coming, but they're not all going to be bad. But we want to be able to enjoy the good ones that are coming after the 14th. But
Oh, I can't wait.
if we're still
Some
we're not going to be
massively
able to
good
enjoy
stuff
those.
coming after
Mm-hmm.
after yeah, and even with the 14th, with that new moon and that annular
Mm-hmm.
solar eclipse, that energy is going to be so powerful, and if used correctly or channeled correctly, so positive that it really could negate that last day of that opposition, because the opposition
Absolutely.
will be so weak by then. And if we've taken the time to isolate ourselves and not go into that need, that drive to be public
Mm-hmm.
and social right now, but say, okay, I'm gonna look within, then man, the 14th is gonna be phenomenal. That is a new moon in Libra, and it could start
Absolutely.
a whole new era for us in a clean slate. Yeah.
Absolutely. Totally agree. I couldn't agree more.
Kelly says, I
Good.
have a lamp in my living room. Would that be beneficial? Would it,
It
Journey?
is very much beneficial, but make sure it's the Himalayan salts. Some people um, have gotten some of those and they're not actual salt. So make sure it's actually a Himalayan salt. I've seen that. Kelly says, I have the crying thing down right now. So I have been meditating more frequently. And if you're crying more and it's not stopping, you need to see something even now if the song isn't working to give you the deep cry, because what's happening is you're stopping yourself from crying,
Ah,
and clearly you need to let something out. Allow yourself to feel it. There is no shame in crying. There is no shame allowing yourself. Everybody calls that weakness, or I don't want to feel vulnerable. You're only vulnerable if you allow yourself to be vulnerable. But allowing yourself to feel, that makes you vulnerable. Allowing yourself not to feel is what makes you feel vulnerable, because now you're not feeling everything. You're missing out on things. And yeah, it definitely it causes a big thing. She says for balance. She goes, "Yes, it is. So I should move it to my room." Absolutely, move that crystal to your room. She says, "Yes, the crying is often on while I wrap my head around everything." But the thing is that you're trying to wrap your minds around something when you're in a place of letting
yeah.
go. So what you're doing is like someone with a cold going and then touching everything, putting the cold germs everywhere, and then wondering why they keep getting sick. Allow yourself to sit and actually think about what it is that's giving you these deeper emotions that you're trying to let out, but do not stop yourself. It may take 24 or 48 hours to clearly go through it, but once you do, there your balance will lie, because your mind will eventually process and go, you feel better now. You understand why you were crying.
Yeah.
Now meditate, because now you know what the problem is. Now you know internally what was bothering you, so you can A, let it go, or allow yourself to understand that it may not be in your control, which I do feel as though you tried to control situations that you couldn't control, and it's coming back to kind of haunt you. And it's making you feel like you didn't do something right, or the world's against you. And we get into those places. We got to learn when we're not supposed to control something.
And that's hard too,
Yes,
especially for a
very much so.
Virgo,
Very,
especially
very,
for a Virgo. Yeah.
absolutely, very much so. Very much so. I mean, I've got 4 planets Virgo,
Yeah.
so I know what that Virgo energy can do to you. And it was just today. There was a lot of people coming out of the woodwork today that
Mm.
they're feeling these vibrations and not knowing quite what to do with them, and then going to that one place knowing that I'm going to get some type of understanding. And I was discussing that with you as well, and I was like, well, hopefully this provides them whatever they can get, but I can't fix their problem. I can explain it to them, but I cannot fix. They have to internally fix what is broke there, because this is a
Oh,
lot of
yeah.
internal stuff that's going on.
Very much so. Yeah. When you're called like that by an aspect to, especially in Libra season with a full Libra stellium going on, and you're still being challenged to go introspective and be isolated. And I'm not talking about go hermit mode forever, but it's really difficult. That's like one of the hardest challenges there is. And then, with as with Kelly, I I love how you explain that. Figure out why you're crying. Really go deep and see exactly what you're crying for, because right now Kelly says, yes, I may not survive the surgery next month, and that's just the top of the heap. Every surgery, has that caveat, and that's terrifying. That's terrifying. But there are other issues that are going on within you, and right now you're feeling that, and you're feeling sorrows that you don't even know where this is coming from. Is it coming from your past? Is it coming from your future? Is it coming from right now? And it's just that general. I don't know if everybody gets this. It may be specific to Virgo planet people, but we get a
Mm-hmm.
deep, deep loneliness that we cannot explain or identify, and it comes up out of nowhere. And until we can find where it came from, it will haunt us until we can get it out of our system. And sometimes it's really hard to isolate what exactly that is.
Well, the Virgos have the need to fix. They want to be fixers. They want to fix everything, but they want to have a strategy to everything.
Mm,
And the automatic, Kelly went straight to the automatic, the possibility of I might not make this surgery rather than looking at the benefits of the surgery. What does the surgery correct? What does this surgery do for me? Will this surgery make my health better? Will this surgery do this for me? Instead, went straight to the negative side of things. Right now, we're vibrating on that high level. So, of course, you're not thinking correctly, especially Virgos are being affected hardcore
mm,
with this high vibration right now because they like to sit there and analyze 86,000 different scenarios and then come up with one out of 86,000 that is their answer, and then they become fixed on it. That is their answer. This is what they know. This is no, you're incorrect. No, no, no. This and this and this. We have to back off from that. We do that quite often, these Virgos. And she put um plus the Virgos a fixer. Yeah, I mean the fixer parts. I mean, we're not going to go any further into the medical side of things because then that goes into a medical reading. So we're not doing that. But the thing is that your your fear is driving you because this vibration is high. It's taking the things that worry you. And this is not happening to just Virgos. This is happening to everyone on the planet. Look at how the planet's reacting right now. And you can see it in your news. You can see it in your friends. You can see it in your social media. Does this seem like the month that everybody gets excited for when it comes to Halloween and doing all that? No, it's not. It's not feeling like Halloween because this vibration, this moon, threw in a mixed bag of energy after we just came out of 7 planets retrograde. Um,
yeah.
so we didn't get a break from steady crazy to more crazy added on top of that. So it's like a 7 layer cake of crazy, and we're still not being able to unload and relax and have that break. We're getting there. That ring of fire is going to help burn quite a bit of that away. So we're going to start feeling this ease. But if you're still going, it's going to take you a lot longer to start feeling the ease of pressure because you're not finding your center. You've got to balance. This is for everybody that needs to find that balance. If you have to take a step away from the television, you have to take a step away from social media, a step away from your friends, go into nature, love yourself, do what you got to do, but find your inner balance. You can't find it. No one else is going to be able to give that to you. You might get some
Yeah.
words of wisdom, but you specifically have to go within yourself to find that. Start with the sad song. Start with a movie, a sad movie. I know that there's happy songs, there's happy movies, there's funny movies, and that brings me to a happy place. It's not where you're going. You're not going to your happy place. You're
Mm-mm.
trying to find your center. You're trying to find your balance, your equilibrium. You need to
Mm.
find that for your emotions. You need an emotion check because
And especially right now with the things going on in the world and that damn opposition, really,
mm-hmm,
really check yourself for not going to worst case scenario. And I'm talking like My mom or something would say she's full blown Virgo, and she'll go to
Mhm.
cut her fingernails and she'll be like, but what if I cut the tip of my finger off? Or, like, where did you get that from? Like, how did you
Mhm.
even get, from, oh, I'm going to make my nails look nice to the freaking sky is falling. They go to the worst case scenario, Virgo minds, when they're
Mhm.
when they're pressured, and it puts them in a place of inaction altogether. And if you're in a place of inaction, you can't
Mhm.
get that equilibrium. And you do need to feel the feelings you're feeling, force them out so that you can get to that balance. Beautifully said on you. But B, especially check yourself not to go straight to the worst case scenario. Now, and like I said, I do have Venus in Virgo, but I am a Leo. I am an optimist, or
Mhm.
wait, a pessimist. I'm like a pessimistic optimist. Um, but predominantly, I'm an optimist,
It's
and it
impossible.
drives me like I don't even know the word when I see a Virgo go straight from an everyday situation to the sky is falling. It
Mhm.
it it really like it's like, how did you get there? I didn't follow you. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. It's
Yeah.
all about right now is the time with that I almost said optimistic. It's not what I'm trying to say.
Pessimistic. No.
Yes. But with everything that's happening in the sky right now, it is vibrating at a very, very high vibration. And it's not something we were expecting. It wasn't something that we wanted. And now, mind you, we have warned y'all about what was going to happen on that supermoon. So we want everybody to get an understanding that we can be warned and we can be prepared for something, but it can still affect us even if
Mm,
we're prepared. And don't let the Virgo mind go straight to the negative, especially right now, because right now it's not going to be just negative. It's going to be doom and gloom, the end of the world type feeling. It's not the end of the world, but it is a very intense energy. It's not one that you're typically used to. So, what we're looking at these little tiny ant hills, and when we're looking at them in this vibration, they look like Mount Everest. And literally, it's a 3 centimeter ant hill to us. That's a 7 day hike just to get to the peak. And really, all you got to do is step over it.
huh, yeah. That- and
It
I
just
took
feels like,
your
mm-hmm.
I took your advice last night because I saw Mount Everest. And you could
Yes.
tell yesterday when you even talked to me after your show.
Mm-hmm.
And everything looked like Mount Everest. I took your
Exactly.
advice. I listened to that sad song. I should have called you because I was bawling at like 3 o'clock in the morning,
Wow.
but and it was a little late. And I did. I was bawling. And then I finally wrote the stuff that's been in my head that's been
Mm-hmm.
hurting me.
Right.
And you can tell the difference today. You can tell the difference by getting all of that out.
Out. Yes.
You can tell it's not quite an anthill yet, but I can get
Mm-hmm.
over, you
But this is
know?
a hill you could take a couple steps and get over.
Yeah.
And rather than going, do I pack a lunch? Do I bring a friend? What am I doing here?
And and me being astrologer, we can still be affected. Us being what we are, we can still be affected. We sometimes need, and Laura says, hi, Virgo here as well. Hi, Laura. We we still need to be reminded, hey, don't let it own you. You have this knowledge, you have this power. Use it in a way to meet the challenge. And Journey
Exactly.
had to remind me. Yeah.
We all find, I mean, it's not just Virgos that do it. I mean, there are other signs. So let's all right, let's jump from Virgo to Cancers. Cancers are an emotional creature. to vibrate on a level where feeling is not happening, but reaction is, it is throwing those cancers through the loop. They feel like a part of them is missing. And when that part of them is missing, cancers don't go to the, they go to the very deep sadness in their self.
Oh God, yeah.
So their legs are pulled in, they're hiding in their shell, they're not talking or doing anything but being overly emotional because they feel like they want to give up. There's nothing to feel. It's like
That's
the
hard.
ocean is
Yeah.
completely dead, it's completely still for them. And they're floating to the top trying to find a wave, trying to see some type of wave of emotion. And unfortunately, this vibration right now is blocking those cancers from feeling. They're reacting, but they're not reacting in a good way. I know I'm a Cancer, but thank God for the Virgo in there
But
and the
again,
Aquarius.
I would venture to say that you've had a rough couple of days still because that Virgo
Mm-hmm.
is being lit up. That
Oh hell
Cancer
yeah,
is being underlit. Underlit.
exactly.
And
One's being
you
overly, one is being lifted way too high, the other one's way too low. That's why the sad song comes into play, because it's centering me. It's making me understand that, there's a song by Susie Boggess, and it's called Aces. I love that song. It has a deep meaning to me. So it's not a what people would call a typical sad song. Whiskey Lullaby is another one.
oh,
But
Whiskey
makes you
Lullaby.
realize, it brings back, for someone who couldn't feel emotion, bringing that emotion to me when I couldn't feel it on my own, on my Cancer inside. I had to it was like stir the pot of emotion so the waves would come back. So I could feel something rather than feeling numb, because there was a numbness inside. But with the Virgo being elevated with all that Aries energy from that moon, plus the Virgo Venus and everything just overstimulated, is what is the best way to say it. Is everybody's overstimulated or understimulated in certain areas. So your Cancer, wherever your Cancer lies in your chart, wherever your water signs lie in your chart, you're feeling underappreciated, you're feeling no love, you feel alone. So there's that side of it. And then your sun, your fire signs and your wind signs are being ripped all over the place. Your air signs, I call them wind signs. I don't know. I'm like earth, air, wind, fire. Let's do it. Um,
It
but
suits.
we're
It suits.
feeling all these we're feeling all these different vibrations now with the earth. They're just getting rattled to pieces because these vibrations are ripping through it.
Oh yeah,
So
this is hell on earth
they are
signs.
completely, if you are an earth sign, you're finding yourself completely lost. It's almost like I'm losing track of my thoughts. I'm losing track of my mind. I'm losing track of my stuff. I'm losing track of my money. You cannot find the balance in anything around you. You're being vibrated so damn much. And this, what's happening right now, those earth signs they're getting hit the hardest. I believe they're being hit the hardest out of everybody.
They're being I think it's followed very closely by the
Mm-hmm.
fire signs. Every fire sign I know has
Mm-hmm.
lost a level of confidence in the last week
Mm-hmm.
or so. How many times have you had to just reassure me
Yeah.
this week alone? Like, I'm a Leo. Uh, uh,
That's why
Why?
you got to pet the Leo. You got to pet the Leo.
You had to pet me so many times this week. Like, calm down, kitty. It's okay. We still love you.
And
It's like the
Kelly said
whiniest
here,
damn
she
Leo I've
said
ever met.
Kelly says her Cancer's in Venus. And so your Cancer, your water sign is in Venus, and a planet that's in your sun sign that's vibrating. So again, this is where your emotions are out of whack.
Yeah, yeah.
That's why you're not feeling, but you're crying, but you don't know why you're crying. Yeah. And Laura said, "Hi, had a rough day today. Tears on and off all day." This is
Oh,
the energy we all have been feeling, Laura. It has been, and especially you said you're a Virgo as well. So you're feeling that extremely intense vibration. That's that 220 shocking through your body constantly. We've got to let that cord go. Listen to that deeper side of music, something that touches you, something like, let's say there's a song that reminds you of your grandfather, but the reason you don't listen to that song is because that song makes you cry. There's a song by Holly Dunn. It's called Daddy's Hands. That song
I
will
would
bring you to tears, but it will also help center you so you can feel what you need to feel or see. Because, yes, you may be feeling things, but it's so vibrational, you can't tell where it's at. You can feel it, but where is it? So you're pushing that same feeling. So it's going through your entire body. It's going through your entire life. It's not centered on one thing. You cannot focus. We need you to focus. And that's why hearing that, Holly Dunn, she says, Daddy's Hands by who? Holly Dunn. She's a country singer. It's from, I want to say, either the late 80s, early 80s, in the 80s.
It's
I'm not
a
sure
hard
if it was.
song. Yeah, it is a hard song. It is
It is
beautiful
a very
though.
hard
Yeah.
song to hear, but it is definitely something that will bring. You need to stir the pot of those emotions because they're standing still.
Yeah. You need to
They're
face
standing
them.
still. Yes, we need to be able to find out where the vibration's coming from, so we're not smearing all of that energy onto everything in our lives.
And by the 15th, like I said, this should be an echo of what we're feeling right now. But if we
Thank God.
haven't met the challenge, we're gonna have to do it again because these
Oh,
planets are always turning. And if we meet the challenge the next time this particular opposition comes around, it either won't affect us because, well, except for the people around us that are being affected by it, you know, like what the hell is going on type of thing, but it won't affect us personally because will have learned the lesson. This is our opportunity to meet that loneliness deep inside us, to meet that sorrow, figure out what it is, embrace it, and release it.
absolutely. We need to be able to embrace that. We need to be able to embrace all sides of us. And I know a lot of people, their anger, you need to be able to embrace your anger. You need to have a way to understand that anger. You need a way to break it down. Give yourself that balance. We all have these feelings because we need them in all aspects of our life to give us understanding. It's what helps balance us. Don't, try not to react when you have those types of anger. Try to think it through and understand. I'm one of those people that doesn't like to speak when I'm angry. I like to at least pull back and think about what I'm saying. But if you catch me in the moment of react, I'm gonna make you cry because I'm reacting rather than thinking about how is this going to affect you? What can I do to make it understandable for both sides so we can both come to that energy to find that balance so we can work things through. Not all things are going to come together as a balance. You're not all going to say eye to eye on something. You may come to the realization to say, we there's sometimes where I just say we spend enough time on earth together, have a great life. But and that's just me joking with myself. But there are moments where I don't hate you, but I don't feel that this is the time that we need to be together because we all grow separately. So we're all changing levels on a constant basis. Do I continue to keep leveling up or do I fight my own energies and stay at your level? No, I don't. I get to allow myself to grow. And when you finally meet where I'm at, I'm ready and willing to welcome you back. But at that time, it's not something that I would express where I don't want you in my life ever again. I'm not that type of person. And those who have worked with me know that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, we've got Cassidy the card slinger here saying, I do too. I do too, Journey. I prefer to go silent. Absolutely. There's no reason to rip somebody apart over emotions. And Kelly wrote, laugh out loud. Yes, Journey, that's me too. And then
Yeah.
Kelly also said, hi, Cassidy.
And I
um,
absolutely hate to react. I hate it.
mhm.
So I go very silent. So this mean if we ever have an argument, no one will ever say anything to each other.
No, I do because you know me. Eventually, I do come to the table with going, hey, this is how I felt when this happened. And I wanted to know what your reaction to this is and
Yeah.
how you felt. I always want to know how you feel as well because maybe I'm overreacting. Maybe I'm seeing it differently than you're seeing it. And if we can talk it out and give you the perspectives of both sides, you can find that balance. Now, doesn't mean that you're going to stay friends or hang out the rest of your day together, but it does give you a chance to, I can let go of this anger, but I may keep my distance from so and so for just a little while until I feel more comfortable with the situation, or we can come to a better understanding, or I have time to sit with it to realize that that was just not worth my time, and I can't believe I was upset about that.
And see, that's natural for you. Being a Cancer,
Yes.
you like to think. For me, that was learned. I'm a Leo. We're hot-headed. We are.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, I've seen in my past, I have seen my words or my actions done in reaction or anger devastate
Mm-hmm.
somebody. And I
Mm-hmm.
really hate feeling like that villain. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? And so I've learned to just hold my tongue and wait.
Mm-hmm.
Mine is a learned. It may have
Mm-hmm.
something to do. I have a Scorpio Mars. You know,
That, whoop, that is.
Scorpio Mars is slow to speak its mind. It is. But once it does, it's on. It's on. But but mine is learned where yours is natural, and it was very difficult for me to learn.
And then Kelly says, there's a rant, then silence. See, there's silence before there's a discussion for me.
Yeah.
And Cassidy says, always refreshing to hear healthy ways of dealing with conflict. It's to me, I can't say that I've always been that way when I was younger because I was still in adolescence. So, I
Right.
still had my little attitude um and let's just put it plain and simple, there was just times where I was just a straight up asshole, but I was
Adolescent, who
reacting.
wasn't?
But I learned as I was growing older the respect and understanding and how I felt when somebody would come to me, so I took all of that into consideration, and I try to take everybody's feelings into consideration, but I will not push my feelings aside for yours when I don't feel that I was wrong in the wrong or anything. I will make sure to allow you to know my side of things. You may not agree with me, but I'm letting you know what I see. I'll hear you out, but if I don't agree with you, I'm saying, well, I don't see it that way. Maybe we should take some time apart. That's exactly how I am. I always separate myself from that type of negativity.
And I love that about Cancer energy, and there are other signs that have that too to different varying degrees. But Cancer energy does understand how to stand up for itself, and there are quite a few signs that have a difficult time with that. It's generally associated with Mars, but Cancer Sun is really strong at saying at drawing boundaries. And that's something I have issues with. I have a hard time making boundaries. And then when I do make them, I'm a little bit anal retentive about keeping them. You know what I mean?
Right. And all of the signs have their own ways of how they deal with conflict, how they deal with emotion in general. I mean, Capricorns, this stillness of emotion, you guys are just a whistling Dixie. You're like, woo, I don't know what's going on here, but it ain't affecting me. Because
Yeah.
you don't like feeling all those emotions anyway. So this feels like a break. It feels like a walk in the park.
I almost have to wonder though with poor Saturn in Pisces because Saturn rules Capricorn. So having Saturn in Pisces, I think they might be feeling a little bit of a sting, but they're good at ignoring it. You know what I mean? They're real good at ignoring that sting.
Mm-hmm. Scorpios, I know you guys are out there feeling it as well, but you're feeling it at that high vibration. So that tail, that venom is stinging the shit because you're feeling like you need to protect yourself. You're keeping everybody at bay. You don't like all this invading of space. The vibration feels like an invasion. So you Scorpios out there, you're feeling like you're being violated, and that's why you're stinging and not meaning to. And I don't think you're realizing you're doing it, but your words are sharp and they're stinging people and they're hurting them. And then you're wondering why. Why is so and so not talking to me, or why is this not happening? You're not getting that your stingers meeting the people before you even get to them, and they're like, "Oh no, we're good. We spent enough time on Earth together. We're good. We're good. We're good." And you're like, "I didn't do anything." You did. You're just not seeing it in the same way because you're not capable of feeling your emotions right now. That vibration is so high that it is numbing you. You cannot feel it. Hell, you can barely see it.
Yeah.
But when you do, you're like, damn it. That is not what I meant to do. That is not how I would have reacted. I don't understand why I'm feeling this way because you're not feeling right now. There's a moment in time where we have to lose the emotions to, it's like, I lost my taste in my mouth and I can't taste anything, but I was still eating food. It was bland. It didn't do nothing for me. And then all of a sudden, when you finally get your taste back and you taste that food, you want to eat everything in sight because your taste buds are back. Oh my God, this is so good. Yum, yum, yum. This is the same thing with your feelings. Oh my God, this is great. I can feel things again. Whew, the vibration is lower. I can feel it. Now, every sign's going to go through that. The Aquariuses, they right now I can tell from the ones that I have spoke to, they're putting on a brave front of happy, but they peel that band-aid back and you can see they're scattered. It's like they're actually, a lot of them are feeling dizzy, like literally physically dizzy. They're feeling physically dizzy, like they've got vertigo. The misplacing of their keys, the where did I spend that money at? Where did I put my purse? Where's my wallet? Where did I park my car? We had that conversation. I don't remember. They're not feeling like themselves, but they're trying to like, another time here. What the hell is going on? You know, that's what they're thinking to themselves. And that's something that I saw. A lot of this vibration is, these planets, those retrogrades, this moon that happened in Aries, this, Virgo and Venus, and there were some other things you mentioned. There's so much to be talked about,
A
but
lot.
there's a lot, and I really feel as though we need to find our balance. And if we can find to listen to that sad song so we can center ourselves. It's not about feeling sad. It's not about feeling angry. It's not about any of that. It's just so we can center.
Yeah, it really helped me. I mean, you
I'm
saw
glad it
me
did.
when I left work last night to the difference who I am tonight. I mean, like,
Night and day. Night and
and
day.
last night I was that manic happy you were talking about too. Like,
Mhm.
I was I was like, who is this person? But today I do. I feel more grounded. I feel more balanced, and it's because I embraced those tears from
Yes.
that sad song, and then the sadness I was able to pull out of my chest. Those things I
Mhm.
hadn't been able to say, those hard things, I was able to put it on
Exactly.
paper and let go of it, you know?
Wow. Squirrel, I don't know if you know this, but we've gone past our time. Actually, we're
What the
5 minutes
hell?
past. I can't believe how fast this show goes by. It's so much fun to talk about all these things. Now, guys, we are going to get more into the things that we've got going on in our universe and start explaining what a sextile is and what a transit is in general. There are a lot of terminologies and words that you hear when you hear astrologers speak, and you're like, what form of Chinese is this? And you're not understanding. And if you speak Chinese, you're like, what part of French is this? You know, it's just, I love seeing everybody getting a chance to understand. Don't be scared of what you don't know. Learn about what you don't know, and things will make a lot more sense for you. Always be open to learning. And that's what this show's about, learning about all the different things. I know you guys love your horoscopes and things like that. And guys, we will be having horoscopes here, right here on My Psychic Connection. And I will be writing those up for you guys. So I hope you guys enjoy them. But Squirrel and I were going to get more in depth with some other stuff, and we're going to start playing with some charts and stuff and giving you guys an idea of what a natal chart is and why it's important and something that you should probably learn about yourself. This way you can start living in the direction you were meant to be in, because sometimes we think we have to do something because we're forced to by money, but what you don't realize is that your happiness will provide you with what you need versus I thought I had to do this.
Truth.
Cassidy says, such a treat to hear your chats. Love you both. We love you too. And Karen was a Scorpio, so I'm sure she was feeling the effects of what I was talking about. Kelly also telling us, Journey can teach you like he did me. Perfect. I'm talking boundaries. Exactly. You got to make them boundaries. It's not being selfish. It's about protection.
Yeah.
Squirrel, this has been amazing. Thank you so much for joining me here. We talk so much. And if you guys have heard some of the conversations, Squirrel, we'll start astrology and then we go, it's 6:30 in the morning. She's like, wait, what? I'm like, yeah, what the hell? It was just 11 o'clock. Not a pee break, not a drink break, nothing. We just go full on in, and the discussions are endless.
And it's like we just spark, like so fast, and we keep up, and it's exciting. I love having those all-nighter chats on astrology.
We've had so many all-nighter chats. They've been absolutely amazing. But I love doing this show with you, and there's so many more to come, guys. Don't forget, tomorrow, 6 p.m. Eastern, we are going to be here with Destiny K, Divine Love and Light, followed by Cassidy the Card Slinger at 10 p.m. So, guys, make sure you guys are tuning into those beautiful shows to get those amazing reads. Guys, you can always get longer reads with us. All you got to do is go to the donation link. Those will be posted in the shows for you guys to get on there and have those long, beautiful reads. We got some talented readers here this season, and I can't wait for you guys to get your chance to get readings with them. Squirrel, as always, it's such a pleasure. It's always beautiful being here with you.
It's fun. Yes, thank you.
Absolutely. Guys, from everyone here at My Psychic Connection, we want to say thank you so much. Guys, have a great night, and we will see you guys again tomorrow. Good night, everybody.